All right, we are live. Hello, everyone who's tuning in. My name is Jessica. I work on the University Programs team here at Google, and I manage our Google Students page, which you've luckily found on Google+. And I'm joined today by two of my favorite Googlers who are going to talk a little bit about the Google Online Marketing Challenge, which is hopefully something you've heard about and are interested in learning more about since you're tuning in now. So I'm going to kick it off to AJ and Andrea, who are going to introduce themselves.
Sure. So my name's AJ. Hi, everybody. I'm a part of the AdWords team here at Google. I'm based in Mountain View, and I'm also a part of the Google Online Marketing Challenge team. So as you know, we put this program together, and we hope that you'll find it of value and learning a lot about online advertising.
And AJ, give us some more background. Where did you go to school, and how long have you been here? What was your path to Google?
Sure. So I'm originally from the San Francisco area. I went to Columbia for college, so I went to New York for 4 years. I studied psychology there, and I worked at Google as my first job, so I've been here ever since. Psychology brought me to AdWords, where I'm able to understand my customers, segment them, research their needs, and present to them the best tools and the best ways that they can best grow their business. So it's a lot of fun so far.
Very cool.
Hi everyone, my name is Andrea, and I work with AJ on the Google AdWords team, and I also participate and help out with the Google Online Marketing Challenge. So I'm very excited to be having this hangout with you guys because we really do hope that it's beneficial for teams participating in the challenge, and then also anyone that is interested in participating this year or next year. A little bit more about me. I'm from Ohio. I went to the University of Cincinnati. I did work at another company before coming to Google, but I've been having a great time since I've been here. Also, I majored in marketing and international business.
Awesome. So I guess we'll just start right in. Why don't you guys give us some sort of background on the Google Online Marketing Challenge. Tell us what it's all about for maybe some of those students who are tuning in and interested but don't know too much about the program.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'll take that question. So the Google Online Marketing Challenge started in 2008. That was our first year. Back then, there were about 500 professors that were registered, and now we have over 1,000. So that just kind of shows you that the challenge has been growing. The purpose of the challenge is to really give students real-world experience working with AdWords and with online advertising. So really just introducing them to the space and giving them the opportunity to see how they can really grow real businesses and nonprofits by using online advertising.
Great. And so who can participate? Is this open to students only in marketing, or what's the process to get if someone wanted to get involved in the program?
Okay, so it's open to any student around the world, so this is a global challenge. You can be basically any major that you want to be, as long as you have a professor that's willing to register for you, and then you will register under the professor to participate. And registration does happen online, so www.google.com/online-challenge is where you would go, and you just click the big blue button that says register.
Great.
And just to elaborate a little bit more too on what Andrea was able to point out, so we do ask that teams register as part of, underneath professors, but by professors we can also include lecturers or researchers. So if you don't have an individual professor that can register for you, at least somebody who's affiliated with the institution, like a researcher, can be that supervisor.
Great. So you said the professors have to register first, right? Mm-hmm. And is there an upcoming deadline, or what is that sort of the timeline look like for the program?
So professor registration has been open since November of last year, and it will go to May 1st of this year. So you still do have a few months to put together your team, get your professor to register, and participate in the challenge. So May 1st is the deadline.
For the professors, right?
For the professors, yeah.
Okay. And how many people are usually on these teams?
The teams can be anywhere from 3 to 6. And we feel that, a team of that size is probably, the most effective.
Okay, and then once their professors get registered, the students can now register under their teams.
Mm-hmm. It is a two-step process, so professors must register first. After professors register, then students can register, because they'd have to register underneath their professors. After students register, then professors simply have to verify the teams. And then at that point, the teams are able to sign up for an AdWords account, link it with their challenge account, and move forward from there.
Okay, so for those who are just tuning in, we're live talking about the Google Online Marketing Challenge with two experts in the field here who help manage the program. And if you don't know too much about the challenge, you can learn more information at the website google.com/online-challenge, and it'll give you some background on what the program's all about. Now, so for these students, what's in it for them if they win? What do they? And it's global too, right? So is there a global winner, and how does that work?
So there are a number of winners, yes. There are both global winners and regional winners. And we have winners in a couple different areas. So we have winners for the challenge. We have winners who, participate in the Social Impact Awards, so those that help a nonprofit. And we also have winners for social media, so people who are teams that are able to create Google Plus pages, and maintain those. And the prizes are awesome. The prizes range from a 7-night stay in San Francisco to free tablet devices, free laptops, up to $15,000 in a donation to your nonprofit partner. So Google has a lot to give. And we hope at the same time that students are motivated to learn about online advertising and become those true marketing consultants.
Yeah, and this sounds like something that students could put on their resume that they participated in, and it's definitely something to supplement what they're already learning maybe in an advertising class. Definitely,
especially because this challenge, as Andrea pointed out before, is global, right? So you're competing with students over the entire world. So certainly ranking at one of the top is, an accomplishment worth mentioning.
Yeah, and so teams can be 3 to 6. They have to register under their professor names. Sounds like there are some awesome prizes. We're going to look at some of the questions that we got from Google Plus and Twitter. One of them from Clayton, he asked if he needs a professor to be participating, and we've already answered that. Yes, you need to be registered under a professor or a researcher or someone who's associated with the institution. Someone asked if they can do the challenge for personal blogs, so maybe explain a bit more around the structure of what exactly you're working on during the challenge. And also, I'm not sure if we mentioned what the time frame is for competing in the challenge itself.
Okay, so I'll just go ahead and take that question. If the personal blog would be a business or a nonprofit, then yeah, they can definitely advertise for their personal blog. We just ask that it is a business or considered to be a nonprofit organization. As far as the challenge and how the students actually run their campaigns, you have a 3-week time frame to use the $250 credit that we give you. So you can take anywhere from about 7 days to the full 21 days, but you do only have that 3-week time frame. And then once your budget is depleted, the $250, then we'll consider that the end of your campaign.
And then you guys play around with the numbers and figure out who did the best.
Right. We look at a number of metrics to determine regional winners and the global winners. So.
Okay. And when do they have to finish the challenge by? So they have 3 weeks to do the entire thing, but how much time do they have to complete those 3 weeks? When does it officially start?
So the last day is June 8th. So that's the last day of the 3-week, consecutive time that you're allowed to continue running your campaigns. But as you know, after you complete running the campaigns, you also have to submit that post-campaign report or the impact statement or the social media, execution write-up. And you have until June 15th for those pieces. So like Andrea pointed out before, one thing we look at in order to determine the winners are the metrics, right? How successful was your AdWords campaign? But we also look at those write-ups that you submit once the campaign is done. So we want to know, what did you learn? How did your campaign grow? How are you able to drive success for the business you worked with?
And this is something they typically work with their professor sponsor on putting this together?
Yes, especially before the competition. They ask the professor for guidance, but who we think they can play a greater role with is actually the business, right? So the pre-campaign strategy is supposed to demonstrate an understanding of how the business works so that they can move the business successfully, market it successfully online. So especially for the pre-campaign write-up, students should be working closely or have a great understanding of the business that they're working with.
Great. Are there any sort of tips or maybe areas where students can find resources to learn a bit more about the challenge, or maybe their professor is registered, they know they're going to do it? Where can they find some resources that may help them get a better understanding or better prepare them to compete in the challenge?
Sure. So I can take that question. There are a couple that come to mind. One, for instance, is the AdWords Beginner's Guide. So you can find that on google.com/AdWords/Beginner's Guide. In order to get extra information about the metrics you see in the account, how to better structure your ad groups in order to successfully run a campaign. Another important thing to look at would be short video tutorials, and that's on google.com/ads/learn. So there's visual learning resources to use in order to better understand how to run and how to manage an AdWords campaign.
Great. And it sounds like all the information for anyone who wants to know about the challenge is at google.com/online-challenge.
Definitely.
Great. We haven't gotten any more questions since we started, and it looks like we covered a lot of the FAQs. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to add? Any parting words for what students should know about the challenge, maybe why they should be interested in competing, anything they can use to sway their professors to help sign up and get involved?
I guess one thing that I would offer as a tip or advice for the students already participating and maybe getting ready to run their campaigns is just to make sure that the way you structure your account should be focused on a certain theme. So just to give an example, I have a shoe business, right? So I sell boots, I sell tennis shoes, and I sell sandals. So the way that I would want to structure my campaign is that I would want to have an ad group for boots, an ad group for tennis shoes, and an ad group for sandals. And then the keywords within those individual ad groups should be all centered around the boots theme, the sandals theme, or the tennis shoes theme. I think initially, what we see with student teams and even just with real-world advertisers that use AdWords is making sure it's structured the correct way from the beginning. So that's just one tip and advice that I would like to offer. So.
Sure, and my takeaway tip is do as much as you can to invest preparation up front. So as you know, the competition is only 3 consecutive weeks long when you're allowed to run your campaign. So it's the campaign's performance within those 3 weeks that we're going to look at. So before you start that campaign, do as much learning as you can so you don't have to waste time during those 3 weeks catching up on things that you could have learned before the campaign even started. On that note, too, make sure that when you add your coupon code into your AdWords account, that your campaign is paused. Otherwise, you run the risk of your campaign going immediately online because you added a account. So those are my parting words of advice. And we know from talking to past participants that it is a lot of fun. So we really do encourage you guys to have as much fun as you can when working with these businesses and running the AdWords account.
Yeah, it sounds like the more prep work they can put in beforehand, the better prepared they will be.
Definitely.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us. It sounds like we answered a lot of the questions, and hopefully students will get excited about this online marketing challenge. And if anyone out there who's watching wants to learn more, just head over to google.com/online-challenge. And I believe if you have any questions, we're going to post this video to our YouTube channel. We have a playlist for all of our Hangouts on air. It's at youtube.com/googlestudents. And if you have any questions, you can continue using the hashtag #GOMCHangout, and we'll try and answer those. And if not, hopefully you can rewatch the video and get anything else answered, or go over to their website, google.com/online-challenge.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you guys.